Welcome back to my channel, you guys. So for today's video we have an exciting topic. I have saved some videos from TikTok that I'm going to try some of the makeup hacks and see if it is something that actually is beneficial and maybe something to implement into my makeup routine for when I do makeup. So let's get into it.
Wear makeup hack
Watch.
You need to learn.
Change your whole routine and try this instead. Moisturize first. Then after moisturizing, take some translucent powder. I usually use the Fit Me one, and I just lightly dab it all over my face, not too much. Then take some setting spray. It could be any setting spray. I usually use the NYX one. After the setting spray, take a primer and just put your primer. Also, wait for the setting spray to dry first. Then just put on your foundation. And
I'm not that trusting of, let's be honest. It just feels like it's gonna be a lot of product right on my face. But we're gonna do this in order of like if I were trying all these things out fresh, and this is like how I normally did my routine. So I'm using the Mary Kay Timewise age minimizing day cream. Get my face as moisturized as possible. I do have some rosacea right now, so it'll be especially on my nose area, so that'll be fun to try to cover up. Okay, so I'm gonna give that a second here, but in the meantime I need to get some translucent powder on my face. So I'm using the NYX Mineral Matte Finishing Powder. So I'm gonna put some of that here and get a brush for it. So basically you're putting moisturizer and powder and then a setting spray, and then you're priming and doing all your other stuff. And then I'm sorry if I'm looking off. I am recording on my phone right now, and every time I do that I want to look at myself because I'm using it as a mirror. So that's what's up. My camera, all the batteries are dead. I think I've got 7 batteries and they're all dead. So I need to work on that today. Okay, so I've got the translucent powder on, and then you're gonna do setting spray. So I feel like this might be a hot mess. And then they said to let that kind of dry. I saw an idea about getting like those little portable fans, and I have some of them. I should bring it in here for this type of situation. And then I had an idea and I'm not sure how I feel about it. Oh, and then putting the primer on. So let's do primer. I'm gonna do a primer serum. It's the Prime Focus primer serum. And then in the video it didn't say what type of primer. This is the primer I'm gonna be using. This might be moisturizing my face too much. We'll find out. I just got this. I'm trying to use as much moisturizing products as possible because my face is super dry. But I feel like to this, I don't know, to me I feel like this makes no sense because you're adding dry, wet, I don't know. We will start doing the next step, which is another TikTok hack. An idea that might be even more weird. So I have this, it doesn't look like much, but it's a continuous spray bottle, which I can clean out afterward, but I was gonna put a little bit of my foundation in there and maybe shake it and then spray it. Does this sound like a terrible idea? Yes. This isn't exactly the TikTok hack per se, but it was along the same lines and I already had water in here. This might look terrible. It just looks like dirty water so far. Am I even getting anything other than just water on my face? I don't think this is even adding the foundation. I think it's so watered down at this point. Like it's just making my face wet. So I am going to use a little sponge here. Clean off my face. that didn't work. Cool. So that was a fail. Another hack, which is using my fingers and my hands to do my makeup, which is how I normally do it anyway. So let's do that. That seems like a better idea. I don't know if this is actually going to help at all the previous steps that we did with the makeup, because I think I got my face too wet. I don't know. I don't necessarily see a big difference in the finish doing all those extra steps.
Okay, most people I've seen doing this are using the Kosas concealer. So go like that, come down the nose, and then here. Oh god, time to blend. I've also seen...
This looks crunk, y'all. I don't even know if that's a word anymore, but that's how I feel about it. Oh, hold on, I went down too far. Y'all, I am editing this video right now, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, girl, what are you doing? You're not even following the TikTok. Oh my god, you're not even following the TikTok. So these are like literally fails because I'm failing and didn't even like pay attention apparently. So yeah, but I'll continue for your enjoyment. Okay, bye. That's where that's at. I don't know how I feel about it. All right, I'm gonna get in there with a few of my other products that I normally use. I'm just gonna put on some powder to kind of set this, since that's the last step in the face hacks. Okay, I'll be back. You may hear my kid in the background. He's acting crazy over here. And it's so funny to me, like, now about adding in blush into my routine, because I feel like I normally want to take the redness out of my face, but I guess it's like a controlled redness, you know?
Go over your pupil for the arch and to the end of your eye for the end of your eyebrow. This is a rough guideline that's going to ensure that your brows are symmetrical
everywhere. So you want this here first. So there's your starting line. This even draws. Okay, and then let's see. It's hard to do without a mirror. Let me do it with a mirror here really quick. So maybe in the way. Center of the pupil. That's where you want the peak to be. That's like about here-ish. And then out here, that's where you want the end of the eyebrow to be. So I'm just marking it up, and then I'll fill it in later. Okay. So here. Center. It's about here. And then out here. Okay, so that's where I generally want to land. I'm just kind of drawing a preliminary sketch here. This kid be crazy, y'all. He's making all these new sounds. I'm gonna fill this in actually with the brow mascara, but I'm just trying to get like a template of where I want my the eyebrows to be. So this is not the final result, but I'm hoping this at least helps. Okay. Some of it I have to trim, so let's do a trim right now. BRB.
What I call the halo glow. With the Halo Glow, I do kind of a halo around the eye, so there's multiple points that catch the light anytime your face is moving, and this enhances your bone structure and really gives you an all-over gorgeous glow. You absolutely can use a small brush for this, but I'm just gonna use my finger to pick up a little bit of the highlighter. I'm gonna pat it right at the outer corner of the eye, right at the inner corner where we have that little indent, down, straight down from the eye onto the cheek, and then underneath the brow in the center and straight up from there. So right above the arch of the brow onto the temple.
So I'm just using my old, the Wet n Wild Blossom Glow, which is like my favorite. So we're going over here. I still have to do a few other things, so I'm a little weary about this corner here for the moment. Down the center of the nose, Cupid's bow, up here, a little bit above. It's supposed to add more of a natural glow to the face versus just having like just a streak of highlighter. Like you're hitting all your points, you know?
This is going to be eyeshadow for green eyes to make them pop. So in order to make the green stand out, you need a contrasting colour. So on a colour wheel, the complementary colours to green are red and mauve.
Get to line. And then it's kind of to help make it relatively even. Ooh, my eyes. And then I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. Ooh, all right, okay. I think that helps. And then the, let's see, the corner here, you're using like that to make another little point. To drag it out. Oh gosh, of course there had to be fallout, and I'll deal with that in a minute. Okay, might make it easier to put on for sure. And if you were lining, you would do the same sort of thing. I am gonna clean this up. I'll be right back. I am a little worried about this because first off, it's awfully close to my eye, and then second off, but if it works, it's a game changer. Oh Lord. It is, okay. I don't know if I don't have enough glue on it. That could be the issue too. I was trying to make it super tacky here. Okay, let's try again. It's a little scary. It's so close to your eye. Not recommended at home. God dang. Ugh. Okay, not recommending this one. Oh, yo. Pause. Okay, well that was fun. Okay, so highly do not recommend that trick. Even though the glue was like just at a tacky stage, it still came off into my eye. So it hurt. Okay, it just got stuck down in here, but I had to like clean it out with a Q-tip. It was burning. I don't recommend that at all, especially as an eye care professional. I should have known better, but here we are. We're trying stuff and you see how it went. Anyway, so not recommended. At this point, I'm just like, if lashes aren't made for me, they're not made for me. I'm not fooling with it, you know? So I'm not concerned about that. But anyway, just wanted to try a new technique. I was like, if it made it easier, that would be amazing, but it didn't work out. So close. Okay, so that was just one technique for like overlining, and then I saw another one where you're making some little circles here. So we're gonna try that next. Like, and then I filled it in by accident a little bit, so I don't know if it'll work anymore. But we're gonna try to fill it in like that. And then I'm gonna use my other lipstick here. I'm using the Bare It All over top. Okay, so here are my final thoughts. So for the makeup, I don't necessarily feel like it looks 100 times better than I normally do it. We can do some comparison pictures here, but I'm not sure if I would even implement some of these techniques. The only thing I can think would be maybe the brows, just because I really struggle with trying to line them up perfectly. So maybe making those lines initially. The eyelash technique and the foundation technique, absolutely do not do. Highly don't recommend, because look at this. This is just wasted stuff. I mean, maybe it depends on the type, and I have to clean this out, which is gross. But it also depends on maybe the type of foundation you have. So I'm not disputing that it may work for certain foundations, but it definitely did not work for mine, which mine is the Infallible foundation. So absolutely didn't work. It was just a waste of foundation. So don't recommend that. Using your foundation on your fingers, love that technique, been using it. The concealer going like that, I don't necessarily know if it made a difference. The highlighter, I feel like that is a good trick, because you're getting more of a highlighting moment, you know, in all the spots where the light hits your eyes, versus if you're just doing a streak. The lipstick, I mean, I feel like it looks pretty much the same as I normally do. I might use that technique just because it might be a little easier for me to line and get things lined up better. Otherwise, I don't know if my lips necessarily look any fuller. I feel like they look about the same. The eyelash curler trick is actually pretty helpful to basically get those more crisp lines and make them kind of even, and to be able to line and stuff. I did think that was helpful. And as far as the mauve eyeshadow, or like using more of a like a reddish kind of reddish purpley color with my green eyes, I do feel like that helped. So I would go back to using that. And I do have a lot of different eyeshadows. They're in this color range, so maybe I was onto something in advance and I just didn't know it. Anyway, so I will go back to doing that. I was trying to look at the other techniques. Oh, the primer hack, I don't think it really made a difference, but then again, the fact that I had, you know, that watery foundation situation happen, it could have washed the situation off, but I don't feel like my skin necessarily looks more flawless than it normally does, or like any better. But again, biggest thing today, biggest takeaway, do not do that eyelash technique. It was awful. The pain was real. My eyes were like, absolutely not. At this rate, I'm just like, why did I just not do mascara normal and call it a day? Like, if I need to do the lashes, I will figure it out, but it is not gonna be that way, I tell you that much. Anyway, so those are my final thoughts. Here's the makeup look for the day. And and I think the concealer, oh, that was the other thing, the concealer, like I said, I don't know if it made necessarily a difference, but it did blend out okay, which is something I was concerned about, because I was worried it was gonna be super boom boom in my face. But I don't think my makeup looks necessarily any better, but it doesn't look worse. Oh, hold on. This side does not look that blended. Spoke too soon. That, or maybe it's just the way the light's hitting it, but I'm like, that looks bad. Spoke way too soon. Okay, I'm back. I think it was just the way the light's hitting it, because I have a light here and a light here. Maybe it's just making a weird shadow. Because when I look at it in the other mirror, it looks fine. Anyway, but those are my final thoughts. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Bye, guys!